best wishes to all the participants of this workshop and heartily thank Indian Teachers Education Committee and its organizers for conducting such a purposeful workshop in the collaboration with Kalyan PG and for giving me an opportunity to speak in this session. Thank you very much.
We are continuing the program, and I am inviting HOD of Education Department of Kalyan PG College, Dr. Suman Saxena. Welcome, ma'am.
आवाज कैसे नहीं आ रही इसमें? कनेक्ट है सब, उन लोग वहां से बंद किए मैडम को बोलने बोल रहे, लेकिन मैडम के नहीं है वो, लेकिन सब कनेक्ट है सर। देखिए तो कह रहा हूँ सब तो ठीक है, लेकिन उन लोग बंद किए, लोग कनेक्ट करेंगे तो आ जाएगा बस।
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We are looking and we are listening. Please continue your.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. Today we are here for the inaugural session of the workshop. I welcome our chief guest, Madam Aruna Palta, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Hemchand Yadav University, Durg. She is very active, energetic, competent, and administrative with progressive ideas. I welcome the principal of our college, Dr. R.K. Sahu. He has good administrative and leadership qualities. It is a rare privilege to have with us Dr. D.N. Sansanwal as subject expert. He is a very renowned and learned person. मैंने उनसे पहले भी बहुत कुछ सीखा है during refresher courses in Ahilyabai University Indore, and I am sure we during this workshop. I also welcome all the participants of this workshop. मैं आप सबको अपने शिक्षक संकाय के बारे में कुछ बताना चाहूंगी. Our college is one of the oldest states, working since 1963. Faculty of Education was established in 1973. We offer B.Ed, M.Ed, and PhD courses. Our future plan is to open courses and other courses. In this university, our college center for education. we have a number of guides registered in our center for research in education. More than 100 research scholars are presently enrolled with us. Most of our faculty members are research guides, and some of us are member of visiting team in NEC and NCT. मैं अब आप सबका और ज्यादा समय ना लेकर के सबको शुभकामनाएं देना चाहूंगी और अपनी वाणी को विराम देना चाहूंगी। धन्यवाद।
ये क्या हो रहा है यार?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Anirban Chaudhary, Assistant Professor, Kalyan PG College. Thanks a lot to Principal Sir and HOD Madam for their speech. Now, I would request our HOD Madam, Dr. Sumanlata Saxena Madam, to invite our Vice Chancellor for her inaugural speech. Saxena Madam. Dr. Sumanlata Saxena Madam. Saxena Madam, am I audible?
Yeah, Anirban sir,
Yeah.
we are looking and we are listening you, and we are starting the program. Actually, VC मैम को आना था और कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स की वजह से अभी वो नहीं आ पा रही हैं, तो हम अपना प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट कर देते हैं अपने रिसोर्स पर्सन के साथ.
Okay, we'll straight away invite our.
और मैम जब भी हमारे साथ होंगी तो हम 5 मिनट के लिए सर से आग्रह करके उनका समय ले लेंगे.
Okay,
So I am inviting to Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir. He is a renowned research expert and specialist of advanced statistics. He was a former head and dean DAVV University, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And I am also inviting Anirban sir for further proceeding. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. A warm, respectful wishes to all the dignitaries. I'll straight away call upon our respected resource person, Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir. And he doesn't need any introduction because he is he is an icon and a brand in the field of education, especially research, SPSS and advanced education. So I straight away invite our resource person for today, Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir, to start the workshop on SPSS. Welcome, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Am I audible now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you people able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're audible, sir.
Okay. Say, I'm already introduced by name. I'm D.N. Sansanwal, and this is my email address. If anyone of you is interested in interacting with me by way of asking questions, you are most welcome. So I take over. See, I have to start with the SPSS, but before I start, I just want to bring to your notice few basic facts, because without understanding the basics, we will not be able to move ahead, and you may have little difficulty in understanding. So, you know the word research. All of you have heard about it, and some of you might have completed your research, or some of you might be undergoing the course for conducting research, or some of you might be conducting the research. See, if you see this research, it comprised of basically two things. One is re plus is search. That means you have searched something, now you are searching it again. Why? Because whatever you have got after searching, you may not be fully satisfied with that and you want a better one. That is what is exactly the meaning of research. And it continues. It never ends, because one research will lead to another research, and that will lead to another research. So it's a continuous process. If I stop doing the research in a particular field, the other people will do the research. Now, when we have to do a research, what exactly is important? That we must have what is called a problem. If we do not have a problem, then we will not be able to proceed further. Another word for the problem is variable. So when you say you have a problem for conducting research, means you have a variable. Now, without variable, it is not possible to conduct a research. So that means in a research, a researcher must have minimum one variable. So you should have minimum one problem. And if you do not have a problem, then naturally you cannot start doing a research. So you should have a problem, or you should have a variable, and minimum it must be one. Now, once you have a problem, then because you want to find out the solution, so you have to do some activity. And these are activities. So whenever you have a problem and you want to find the solution, some activities have to be done. For example, if I am not well, then the problem is I am not well. I might be running a fever, I might be having a headache, or I might be having the backache or something like that. This is the problem. What my family members will do, they will either take me to the doctor or they will call the doctor. This is the one activity that will be done. And if the doctor examines me, then he may ask me that I should go to pathology lab to get some of the tests done. Another activity. Then he will prescribe the medicine, and then I have to purchase the medicine, and then I have to start taking the medicine as per. All these are the activities. And these activities have to be done in a particular sequence. I cannot change the sequence. And that sequence is what is called systematic. Or in social science, people use the word systematic. In science, the researchers prefer to use the word scientific. So therefore, as a researcher, you have to do activities systematically. Why? Because you want to find the solution of what problem. So therefore, once you do different activities, then that means it is a process. When you take your bath, taking bath is a process. When you brush your teeth, Brushing teeth is a process. Okay, when you are writing a letter, letter writing is a process. When you are cooking vegetable, that is a process. And in all these processes, different activities have to be done, and these have to be done in a particular sequence. And after doing that, your work will over. So therefore, you get a solution. So these are the 5 important words, and I am putting them as red. So you start understanding these are the most important, and each word is the characteristics of a research. So therefore, I can say the characteristics of researches are characteristics of research. Number 1 is it refers to a problem. Refers to a problem. It involves activities. It is systematic in nature. It is systematic, or you can say scientific. And then it is a process. And then finally, it leads to solution. Now, so each of these words I have used, and I am putting them in the red. The problem is one word. The activities is another word. And scientific or systematic is another word. Process is another. And the last is the solution. Now, if you know the characteristics, then it is easy for you to give the definition. So let us say what exactly is the definition of the research. So I can define research. Research refers to a process wherein activities are carried out scientifically to find solution of the problem. Now, this is the general definition of research. And here, you know, all these 5 words are there. One was process, another is activities are carried out scientifically and to find solution of problem. Now, these are the 5 words which must be part and parcel of the definition. If any word is left out, then that is not the complete definition of research. Now, this is how you can define research in general. Now, if you want to say research in economics, so let me change. How do I change it? So I say research in economics research in economics refers to a process wherein activities are carried out scientifically to find solution of the problem related to some aspect of economics. This problem must be related to some aspect of economics, because there are many aspects of economics. So whenever the researcher wants to conduct a research in economics, he or she has to select one aspect. And once you have selected that aspect, then of course you can go ahead with it. Like this, if you like, I can give you definition in English, research in English. So research in English, research in English refers to a process wherein activities are carried out scientifically to find solution of problem related to some aspect of English. So this is how a general definition can be converted into a specific definition which fits into that particular subject. If you want research in electronics, I hope now then you can write it very clearly that research in electronics refers to a process wherein activities are carried out scientifically to find solution of problem related to some aspect of electronics. So this is how you can define the research. Now I go to the next aspect. So I have given you the characteristics of the research, and these characteristics will be in all types of researches. Then I have given you the general definition of research and how that general definition of research you want to convert into your own subjects. I have shown you. Now, since research is a process, so there must be some steps. So let us go to the steps of research. You see, the first step of the research is identification of problem. It is not the selection of problem, but the correct name of the first step is identification of the problem. Identification is broader than selection. Selection is a part of identification. Now, in the first step, as a researcher, what you have to do is you have to do the three things. What are those three things that you will be doing it? Number one is you must know from where to find the problem. So you must know the sources of problem. I'm not going to tell you different sources. Then next, once you have selected your problem, then you should be able to write title. And dear friends, I'll tell you that whatever the researches have been conducted and the degree have been awarded, all these are available in Shodh Ganga. So if you go to Shodh Ganga, you can find out the researches related to your area. And if you see that, you will not be surprised to note that majority of the titles of the PhD research is technically incorrect. You can see the research titles from science, from social sciences, from humanities, from languages, any you like. And why that happens? Because people do not teach how a title has to be written. So it is a very, very important aspect. And the quality of your research depends upon the title also. Once you have written the title, you should be able to write objectives. There must be minimum one objective. You cannot think of doing a research without any objective. Some people write objective, some people write research question. So there must be minimum one research question, or you may have more than one. Only the difference between them is if you are writing objective as a heading, then you are writing one simple sentence. But if you are writing research question as a heading, then you are writing that simple sentence in the question form. And many people, they are confused because they think that in one research, you have to write both the objectives as well as research questions. No. In one research, either you should write objectives or you should write research question. There is no need of writing both. And those who are writing both, that means they are on the wrong side. And this has happened only recently, because earlier the people were not writing both. But of late, people have started writing both. I do not know why that has happened. And that reflects that our understanding of research methodology is very weak. Now, once we have done this, the second step of the research is formulation of hypothesis. Now, this step will not be in all types of researches. I repeat, the formulation of hypothesis is the second step in some of the researches, and in some researches, it will not be the second step. If you want to do a research in languages, or you want to do the qualitative, you want to do research with qualitative data, then you cannot have the hypothesis. So formulation of hypothesis will not be in languages, in history, in philosophy, or those areas or those subjects where you have qualitative information. But if you have quantitative information, then you must have the second step, the formulation of hypothesis. And you know, hypothesis is the tentative solution of the problem. It is not the final solution. Okay. So once you have this, then next is a data collection. And if you have to collect the data, there are few things which you must know. Which tool you use, or you can say instrument. In science, people use instrument. In social science, the researchers use tool, but both are instrument or tools. They will help the researcher collecting the required information, required data, whether it is qualitative data or a quantitative data. The next, you must know from where to collect. So you should know the sample, from where you have to have that sample. Okay, and once you do that, then you must know the method of research. Now, whatever you do, it will help you to collect the relevant data. And once you have collected the data, the next is the data analysis. And today, what I will do, and for another 14 days, we will be continuously talking about the data analysis. That how that data which you have, you can analyze it. Okay, so therefore, the statistical technique you will be using to analyze your data. And the data must be only quantitative in nature. If it is qualitative in nature, then the answer is no, you cannot use statistics to analyze it. So this is the important aspect which you should understand. And once we do this, then next is conclusion, or you can say finding, whatever it is. The question, the choice is yours, whether you want to use this or finding. Okay, these are the steps. Now I'll take you to the next point. And next point is, you know that when you want to do a research, you should have a problem. And when you are having a problem, another word for the problem, I have told you, a variable. So whether you say variable or you say problem, both will be meaning the same. So what exactly is a variable? Characteristics which can change. Changeable characteristics. Changeable characteristics are called variable. Let us take the example. Say your weight. You know, when you are 5 years old, your weight was different. When you are 15 years old, weight is different. When 18 years old, weight is different. So weight is a variable. Height. Height is a variable. Blood pressure is a variable. Reasoning is a variable. Types of colleges is a variable. Language is a variable, because someone may speak English, someone may speak Hindi, someone may speak Malayalam, someone may speak French and German and things of that variety. Subject, religion or caste. All these are variables. Achievement. Achievement in economics. Okay, say study habit. Stress. Happiness. Okay, job satisfaction. Like this, there are large number of variables, and in each subject, the variable has got particular name. In physics, the variables are there and their name are very specific to the subject like physics. In mathematics, there are variable very, very specific. In history, in English, in physics, in chemistry, in geology, in political science, etc., etc. All subjects have their own vocabulary, and that vocabulary is variables in that. So this is what you should know, the variables. And another is called a constant. Constant is a characteristics which does not change. Okay, so now you have constant. Constant means a characteristics which does not change. Okay, so a characteristics which cannot change or which does not change is a constant. So for example, total hours in day and night. You know, there are 24 hours in day and night. Okay, then you know the value of pi. You know the sum of three angles of a triangle. Okay, now you know that how many paisa in 1 rupee. It is constant. You ask anyone you like. So like there are many which are constants. Now your variable in one research can be a variable, and in another research that variable may be a constant. It is possible that you can do. Now these variables are basically, now we go to the types of variable. Now basically there are two types of variable. One is called continuous variable, and the examples are, say, weight, say, height, say, achievement in mathematics, say, reasoning. All these are continuous variable. Why? Because they will have their value in the whole number, whole plus the fraction. Plus fraction. You know, somebody marks may be 10 marks, or it might be 10.5 or 10.75, whatever it is. The weight may be 50 kg, it may be 50.5 kg, 50.7 kg, something like that. So continuous variables, they must be expressed in whole number as well as in fraction. And the another one is called a discrete variable or discontinuous variable. And there are many discontinuous variables, like gender, like types of school, like languages, like colors, like RBC. All these are the discontinuous variable because they can be expressed only in whole number. Expressed only in whole number. See, total number of books in the library, number of pages in a book, the number of words per line, etc., etc. There are so many which will be the variable, and they are, and so therefore, because they are expressed in whole number only, and you cannot express them in fraction, so therefore they will be discontinuous variable. Now these are the two types of the variable which you will find in all the subjects. Whatever may be the subjects, it does not make any difference. You will find there are some continuous variable, there are some discontinuous variable. Okay, now so these words you can use the continuous variable and discontinuous variable. Words can be used in any subject you like. In mathematics also you can use them. In commerce you can use them. In management you can use them. In political science you can use them, etc., etc. If you have a variable, your variable will be either continuous variable or it will be a discontinuous variable. It must belong to one of them. Now, in experimental study, only in experimental study, you can use the following names of the variable. Only in experimental study, the following name of variable may be used. And one is called independent variable. Okay. Another is called dependent variable. Now, your independent variable is always discontinuous variable. Is always discontinuous variable. But your dependent variable is always continuous variable. So your dependent variable will always be a continuous variable. This is important. This is what you should understand. So that means the continuous and discontinuous are the general names of the variable. But independent and dependent variable word should be used only and only if you are conducting an experimental study. In survey study, you cannot use the word independent variable and dependent variable. In philosophical study, you cannot use them. In historical study, you cannot use independent variable and dependent variable. So this has to be kept in mind and should be used, because many of the researchers are not using these words correctly. In some of the theses, they say gender as an independent variable. Independent variable means which you can change. Can you change the gender of any person? The answer is no. Okay, so therefore this is important. Another a word, the variable which we have, intervening variable. Intervening variable. Okay, and this intervening variable may be continuous or discontinuous. It depends. Your intervening variable may be continuous variable or may be discontinuous variable. So when I will take the example, when I use the SPSS, so I will take the variable, and the variable which I will take, I will call them either a continuous variable or a discrete or a discontinuous variable. I will not name them as independent variable and dependent variable. Only in case of experimental study, I may tell them. But in SPSS, you have to always treat them as continuous and discontinuous. And your independent variable is always discontinuous, and your dependent variable is always continuous, and intervening variable may be continuous or may be discontinuous. So this is one thing that you should understand. Now, another thing you should understand is a scale of measurement. Actually, basically, there are 4 scales of measurement. One is called nominal scale. Say, for example, when you say how many types of vegetables available, so you will say 6 types of vegetable or 7 types of vegetable. How did you know? You count, and by counting, you can find out the total types of the vegetables available. If I ask you how many books do you have in your library, you will count. So whenever you count, then that will be the nominal scale information that you are giving. Okay, so you can say count or you can say frequency, because frequency is nothing but the counts. When I say how many pages in the book, then you count. So this information is on the nominal scale. If I ask you how many words per line, you count. Okay, if I ask you how many letters in the words, you count. So all these informations are always on the nominal scale. When I say RBC, red blood count, so the information is on the nominal scale. So the variable which you will have, the data may be on the nominal scale. And nominal scale is the lowest scale. There is no other scale below the nominal scale. After nominal scale, the higher scale is ordinal scale. And ordinal scale means you can arrange anything in a particular sequence or in any particular sequence, or you can say in any order, or you can say any rank. You know, if I give you 10 handwritings and I ask you to arrange them in some sequence or in some order, I'm sure if I give it to the 5 people, most of them will arrange as per their own criteria. And the first, the handwriting which one person says this is the best handwriting, another person may disagree with it because he is using some other criteria to find out which handwriting is the best one. Now, you know, when you go to purchase the vegetable, you may not purchase a particular vegetable. But does it mean no one will purchase? I think you will agree with me, someone will purchase that vegetable. Okay, so whatever may be the quality of the vegetable, someone will purchase that. So you can arrange the vegetable in a particular sequence, you can arrange the drawing in a particular sequence if there are people who are giving debate and there is a competition. What judges do? They will observe them and they will say, according to me, this particular student is the first and this is the second. So I'm giving the ranks. I'm putting them in some order. When you go to any hotel to take your food from the menu card, you can find out which one you like the most. The one which you like the most, some other people may not like it. So therefore, that is, you arrange it in the sequence. And when you arrange anything in the particular order, it is possible that on one particular rank, there may be more than one handwritings. If you are comparing the handwritings, you may say both these handwritings are of the same type. So that means ordinal scale data may be converted into the nominal scale, but nominal scale data can never be converted into the ordinal scale. I repeat, the ordinal scale data may be converted into nominal scale, but nominal scale data can never be converted into ordinal scale. So a higher scale can be converted into the lower one, but a lower scale cannot be converted into the higher one. And the third scale of measurement is called interval scale. What are the characteristics of the interval scale? The interval scale, as the name says, that there has to be a reference point. Reference point. There has to be a reference point. Reference point, there must be one reference point, or you can say non-fixed zero. It is not fixed. Okay. And then intervals must be of equal length. You know, you must have seen a meter rod. In that meter rod, if you want to use it to find out the length of the table, will you start with 0 or can you start with 5? 5 is your reference point, it will become 0, and then 6 means 1, and then 7 means 2, and this is how you can do. So it is not compulsory that you have to always start with 0. You may not start with 0. You may start with any number. So that is the meaning of there is a reference point or non-fixed 0. Okay, and intervals of equal length. The difference between 1 and 2 is same as 2 and 1 is same as 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and so on and so forth. So that is what is the interval scale. Your height is in the interval scale. Okay, say your achievement in mathematics is interval scale, your stress is interval scale. So there are many which are in the interval scale. Another is a ratio scale. In the ratio scale, there is a fixed zero. Fixed reference point, or you can say fixed zero. Fixed zero. Okay, say your date of birth is fixed. The moment you come on this particular planet, immediately your clock starts. So you cannot change your reference point. Anybody wants to compute the age of a person, he will ask him the date of birth, and then he can say, oh, you are so many years young, not old, young. Okay, so therefore that is the fixed reference point is there. And then another is the ratios are equal. Here the intervals are equal. In interval scale, the intervals are equal, but here it is ratio are equal. Ratios are equal. So that is the difference. Okay, so your age is on the ratio scale. So you can find out the scales on which the variable data will lie. Either the variable data will be on the nominal scale, or on the ordinal scale, or interval scale, or ratio scale. Now, interval scale data can be converted into ordinal scale, and it can be further converted into the nominal scale. So higher scales data can always be brought to the lower scale. There is no problem. But understand, when you are bringing a higher scale data to the ordinal scale, to the lower scale, that means you are making your strong data the weak data. The data on the nominal scale is the weakest one. The data on the nominal scale is the weakest one. Then ordinal scale data is slightly better than the nominal scale data, but still both will be weak. But the interval scale data and ratio scale data are very, very strong data. And if they are strong data, you need strong statistics to analyze the data. If you have a weak data, then you cannot analyze it with the help of the strong statistics. Weak data can be analyzed with the help of a weak statistics, and strong data can be analyzed with the help of a strong statistics. So that's what you should know it. Okay, so I have given you the variables, I have given you scales of measurement. Now we go to the SPSS, and then let us try to see how do we convert the today's information in the SPSS, and then let's say how do we analyze the data using SPSS. So now I'm going to the SPSS. So I'm sharing the SPSS now. Okay, now I hope all of you are able to see this This is the SPSS sheet. Here it is written VAR means variable. In one particular column, only one variable has to be entered. In one column, the information of one variable is to be entered. If you have 5 variables, then you will be using 5 columns. If you have 10 variables, then you will be using the 10 columns. If your variable is a continuous variable or it is a discrete variable, it does not make a difference. But in one particular column, the information related to only one variable has to be entered. This is important. Now, at present, these have not been, there are no names on the column, only VAR. Now, to start with, let us first go to the variable view and then let us see how do we enter the data. Now, I think, okay, say, first of all, because as I have told you, we will be having the variable and you have to write the name of the variable here. Tomorrow I will tell you, I will take one objective and from the objective, I will tell that as per this objective, these are the 2 variables. Okay. And then you will enter the data of that variables. But I have given you the variables. Suppose you want to enter the information about weight. So you have entered weight. Okay. And now enter. Now just say this is okay. Now weight, this is by default. It is numeric. Now, if you click on on this one, you find there are many numeric, comma, dot, scientific notations, date, dollar, custom currency, string, etc., etc. So in one particular column, information must be either a numeric information or a comma or a dot. You cannot enter in one column the 2 types of the information like numeric and comma. No. And SPSS we use to analyze the quantitative data. So therefore, it will be numeric. And if you want to change, you want to do dot, then you can do it dot, and you can say now the dot has come. So if you want to change it, again click here, go to numeric, and then now numeric has come. Now in the next column is width. Width means from here to here. And this depends upon what is the total digits of the number that you want to enter. Is it 10-digit number? Is it 5-digit number? It is 2-digit number, etc., etc. So this width depends upon that. Next is a decimal. Whether you want to enter the data up to 2 decimal or 6 decimal or 8 decimal. If you want to change the decimal, you can click it here and then you can increase it to whatever either your requirement. Okay, so here let me keep it as 2 at now. The similarly width also you can increase and you can decrease, absolutely no problem. But by default they will be always 8 and 2. Next is a label. Weight is a continuous variable. So therefore I do not want to have any label. No problem. Then values no. then rest okay, fine. Next is say my gender. Now you know that gender is a discontinuous variable and there will be labels. How many labels? 2 labels. What are those? One is, suppose I say 1, and if I say 1 means male, and another is 2, 2 means female. Please understand, 1 is a code. It is not the weight. Like your mobile number is a code. Your car number is a code. Your house number is a code. If your house number is very big, it does not mean that you are very big. No, it's just a number. The roll number, when you were appearing in your exam, the roll numbers were nothing but these were codes. Your name is a code. Okay, so therefore, if there are 2, then I can define them. If you want, you can say 1 as female, 2 as male. It does not make a difference. Okay, and then say okay, then fine. Next is, let us say, if you say local or residential background. Residential. Now see very carefully what I am doing. Residential, then I am giving a space, background. And now if I enter, you see what happens. Say here it says variable name contains an illegal character. What is that illegal character? Because I have given a space between the 2 words. So when you are writing the name, and if the name has got 2 words, then you have to put a dot. There cannot be a gap. If you have 3 words, then you must put dot, 2 dots, one between first word and the second word, another dot between second word and the third word, like this. So I say, okay. Now here I again say residential. This is the first word. Now I'm saying dot and then say background. Okay, residential background, and now I enter. Now this is okay. Now there are people living in the urban area, maybe in the semi-urban area, maybe in the rural area. If there are 3 labels, then I can go to the values and I say 1 means urban area. 2 means I can say semi-urban area. And the third I may say rural. If you want to have more, you can have more, no problem. Another is, so just see, your variable is either a continuous variable or a discrete variable. Weight, continuous. Gender, discrete. Residential background, discrete. Now, if I say achievement dot in dot mathematics, now this is a continuous variable. So if you have 10 variables, so you should first list them like this. Now, once you have done this, now you go to your data view. This was the variable view. Now, if I go to the data view, now you see all these names, whatever I have written, and the sequence in which I have written, they appear on your data view sheet. And this sheet is like a spreadsheet. Okay. Now, so we start entering the data. Now, either I can say the first person, I enter the weight, say weight is say 45 kg. I enter the gender is say male, because one is male. If suppose I have forgotten whether one is male or two is male, I can again go to my variable view. I can go to gender here and I can click here and I can find one means male and two means female. So you need not to really remember everything. You can always refer back and you are all right. So this fine, go to your data view. So residential background is say urban 1, achievement say 58. So this is the first person. I have entered the data. Like this, I can go to the second person, enter the data. Another way is I can enter the data of all people, the weight. I can enter the weight of all the people, say 55, 59, 36, 34, 26, 65, 59, 50. Say this is what so I can enter the complete data. Once I have entered the data of the weight, I can enter the data of the gender. Once I have entered the data of the gender, now I can enter the data of the residential background. Okay, now I can enter the achievement data. The data which the data which I am entering, it has to be your real data, but at present I am just telling you how to do it. So you should not cook the data like this. So this is how you should enter your data, whatever the variables you have. And before you proceed further, you analyze your data, you must ensure that whatever data you have entered, it is entered correctly. So after entering, you must compare it with your data sheet, because if there is some problem in entering the data, then dear friends, your result will have that error, and therefore your result will be something else. So it's always better that you try to enter it and then compare it with your original one, and then make the correction, whatever correction you think you should make, and then you use it. Now, let me suppose I have written here 3 in case of gender. Now, how will I know that I have made a mistake? It's very easy. What I do is, now I go to analyze. Now, whatever the SPSS you people are using, there must be the word analyze. There was a time when the word here was statistics. I do not know whether you have ever seen SPSS version 7, 7.5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Till 12, 13, it used to be statistics. Now they have changed it. Lot of changes they have done. I will point out those changes to you so that you start understanding. So earlier it was statistics. Why? Because on SPSS could only analyze the quantitative data, the quantitative information. Now they have changed it to analyze. Analyze means what? You may have a quantitative information or you may have a qualitative information. You may have a qualitative data or you may have a quantitative data. Your SPSS can help you to analyze the qualitative data also. And that is why here it is not statistics, but it is analyze. Analyze is a general word. The statistics is a technical word. So therefore, this is very important. So you should understand this. Okay. Now I go to analyze. I go to descriptive one. I say frequencies. Suppose I want to find the frequency of all these. I can shift them. And then I say, okay. Now see, you have the 12 people data. So weight also 12 and the gender is also 12 and local is everything is 12, 12. Fine. Now here, I do not know whether 26 should come only once or it should come twice. But here it is once. 34 has come once. 45 has come twice. So it's very difficult to find out whether I have entered the data of weight correctly or not. But let us go further. Say the gender data. The males are 4, the females are 7 and 3. What is this 3? So that means I have made mistake in entering the data of gender. So if you have a discontinuous variable, then it will help you to find out any mistake if you have done in entering. But if suppose you have entered 7 males and 5 females, but in actual practice that is not. So this will only tell you whether you have entered the code correctly or not. The total male and total female, you know, may be very, very, very different. So you should ultimately, after entering your data in the SPSS, you should compare it with your original sheet. And after comparing it with the original sheet, then you should proceed further. Okay, so I hope you have understood how exactly you have to enter your data. And from tomorrow onwards, I will be taking the objective. I will be writing the hypothesis. I will be taking some data which may not be the real data, and then I will analyze it, and then I will interpret it and will tell you this is how it has to be interpreted. So each one of you must bring your SPSS so that you can keep on doing what I will be doing. Now over to the organizer if there is any question. Pramod, any question? Hello, Pramod.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am visible.
Any question?
And
Chaudhary,
sir,
any question?
sir, today we are looking at no anyone question is appropriate to related to today's lecture. कोई भी ऐसा क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे नहीं दिख रहा है.
Sir, Pramod sir, sorry to interrupt. I'd like to point
Yes.
out two things. There were two queries in this was SPSS that we are intending to use. And second thing, that there was a request that if sir can share his video recording of today's class. That was one of the requests. So these are the two things that I thought to share with you.
No.
We will share. Ji.
Actually sharing the today's lecture video recording, I cannot do it. It is the organizers. What was your first question, Chaudhary?
Sir, regarding the version that we'll be using for SPSS.
You can use any version you like. Absolutely no problem. You can use 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, anyone you like, no problem. There is no restriction on the version. Any other question, Chaudhary?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not much relevant.
No, irrelevant also you can tell me.
Sir, there is one question about how to import data from Excel sheet.
I will demonstrate that. So it's a very important question.
No, not related to today's lecture. No, that is why I was trying to skip it.
Okay, it is related in one sense because I am
Okay.
entering the data. So I will tell you if you have the data in your Excel sheet, from that, how will you import it in the SPSS? I will demonstrate that. Any other question?
Yes, sir. There is one question from Smita, madam, and she says about variable, sir, said independent variable cannot be gender because it cannot be changed or manipulated.
Yes. Gender,
So-
gender cannot be an independent variable. Gender is a discontinuous variable. But there are many theses, PhD theses, where the degree has been awarded and they have written under independent variable, gender as a independent, which is wrong, technically wrong. That's what I was trying to tell. So
Okay, sir.
in your research, you should know if it is not an experimental study, then you should never use the word independent variable, dependent variable. But if you are conducting an experimental study, then you must use the word independent variable, independent variable.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, you should always use the word continuous variable, discontinuous variable. An intervening variable can be in experimental study and it can also be in the survey study. No problem at all.
Okay, sir.
Any other question, Chaudhary?
Sir, Shilpa madam wants to know that how to enter ordinal scale data in SPSS.
I will tell you, don't worry about it.
Okay, sir.
When I proceed further, then I will tell you.
Okay, sir. Should gender be one question from Mr. Mahadev Das, and he asked that should gender be a scale in measure?
No, see, gender is, yes, here the scale will be nominal scale. Because
Okay.
when you get how many boys in your class and how many girls in your class, you count. So whenever you count and whatever is the information, that is on the nominal scale. So gender information will be on the nominal scale.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Sachin, and he asks you, what is the impact of missing data?
Do not worry. If there is a missing data, there are different techniques. Number one is that if the missing data are not large in number, if there are only 2, 3 missing, then whatever the data you have, you can calculate the average, and for the missing data, you can enter that average value perfectly correct. But if the missing data number is very large, then you should take them out from your sample size and your sample size reduces. So
Okay.
if such situation occurs, then either you should go back and collect the data from the missing people, or otherwise you have to reduce your sample size. Any other question, Chaudhary?
Last question, sir. Mr. Kishore, he wants to know, he asked what is the determined scale of measurement in SPSS?
No, actually, it depends upon your variable.
Okay, sir.
When you have a gender, when I had a gender, it is on the nominal scale. So if you want, you can change. I can show you. I did not do that. Say, if here it is, here it is. Now you see major. Here, if you click here, then you see you have a scale, you have a ordinal, and you have a nominal. Your weight will be, once the scale is there, it has got both interval scale and ratio scale. Because the data on the interval scale or ratio scale will be the strongest data. I have said, but data on the nominal scale and or ordinal scale will be the weak. So this weight is a data which will be on the ratio scale. So there is a scale. For gender, if you go, so gender will be the nominal scale. So you can put nominal scale, no problem at all.
Okay, sir.
Residential background is again on the nominal scale because it is either a urban area or a semi-urban or the rural. So it's a nominal scale. Your achievement will be on scale. So if you want, you can change, no problem at all.
Okay, sir. So there was one question from Linsa, and she wants to know the difference between a moderate variable and marker variable.
See, okay, see, this is not part of my statistics, but it's a part of the theoretical one. See,
Okay, sir, then we can skip.
No, it's okay, because if she has asked, so I should tell. See,
Okay,
when you conduct an experimental study, there will be always intervening variable. Okay, and your intervening variable will be of two types. One will be intrinsic, other will be extrinsic. Okay, there are some variable which will be in the process and some variable which are outside the process. See, right at the moment when you are listening to me, if there is a noise outside, then naturally you will get disturbed. You will not be able to hear me. So this is a variable which is intervening and it is outside the process. So it is called extraneous variable or external variable. If you are feeling thirsty and you want to take your water or something like that and you are not going, so that is your internal part. So, or you get headache, okay, or you start thinking something else. So all these are inside you, so they're called intrinsic. So intervening variable will be intrinsic, or intervening variable can be extrinsic. Now there are some variable which are extrinsic. They are also called confounding variables. Another name for extrinsic intervening variable is confounding variable. Now, moderate variable are those variables which are neither intervening variable. You treat them sometime this and sometime that. You treat them sometime as a variable which, say, gender. Gender I can take as a moderator variable. Okay, when I take the objective, I will explain more about it. So there are some variables whose nature you can keep on changing, whether they are independent or they are not. Okay, so they may be something like a moderator. A variable which is independent in your study, in somebody else's study, it may be something else. In your study, you have a dependent variable. The same variable in another study may not be dependable. It may be something else. So you can always change. Any other question, Chaudhary?
Sir, is there any limitation of variables in SPSS?
No, you can take as many as you like. And I'm sure you will not have 40, 50, 60. But
Okay, sir.
you can have as many as you like. No problem at all.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot for fulfilling all the queries, sir. I hope that today's question answer session is over. So I hope that today's session was good for all the participants. So over here, we sign goodbye to all the participants, and thank you very much, sir, for being connected and giving us so much of knowledge about SPSS. And we'll meet tomorrow at sharp at 3 p.m. Over to Pramod Kumar Gupta, sir. Pramod Kumar Gupta, sir.
Many thanks to you, sir.
Thank you.
Many thanks to you, resource person, Dr. D.N. Sansanwal, sir, and college organizer, and all participants. We will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, good day, everyone. Good day, sir.
Okay, Chaudhary.